Hey, this is Mike Gingerich with another Live with Mike, and joining you here on St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. And the big thing in the news today is COVID-19 coronavirus, and particularly how that's impacting businesses. So I want to talk about that today from a business communication standpoint, how your business needs to communicate about any changes that are happening within your business due to this, and also tools that can help your business, both publicly communicate and internally communicate. So we've got some things on that. So number one, just kind of, where I'm at. So I'm working from home now in the state of Pennsylvania. They have put on a 2-week closure of all non-essential businesses. So again, the hospitals are open, grocery stores are open, gas stations are open, but non-essential, anything deemed non-essential is supposed to be closed, supposed to go and be remote. So fortunately for our team, that is basically how we do things a lot anyway. So we've been working remote for a number of years, and we've got tools, things that we do about that. But for many businesses, there's a disruption. So if, in the retail, they had to close the in-store, like a restaurant has to close the in-store dining, but they can do, the drive-throughs, and they can do delivery, that type of thing. So they need to communicate about that. So communicating externally, one of the key things that you can do, and I've got a new information up about this on Digital Hill's website. So let me kind of go through a few things. So number one, you can obviously email to the public and to your customer list. You can do an email that says, hey, this is, if our hours are changing, or, those types of things, or if we're not doing, this event. Instead, we're going to host it virtually, online on Zoom, those type of things. So you can use your email service such as MailChimp and get the word out that way about any updates. Now, number two, which is the key thing I think, is that you need to update your website with any changes like that. So recommending that you have a dedicated web page that is, a place where you can update information about that. So for instance, and what I recommend is a page like digitalhill.com/coronavirus. That's what we have. And if you just go over to digitalhill.com, what we've done is added a notification bar at the top of the page, and that notification bar gives you a little statement of sentence. Let's see, best practices, tips for coronavirus business communication and remote working. Click here, and that takes us over to the coronavirus page, where I have a date and then information. And then so if I have another update tomorrow, I'll put the new date at the top of that information, and they can kind of see down through how things have changed over the course of time. But in the update that I put out there, I said, you can communicate via email. You need to update your website. You should have something at least on your home page, and I'm recommending some type of notification like we have there at the top, which is on every page, and it directs them, has a button which will direct them to your full information on that. And then the third area is you'd be using social media. So social media, hopefully you have a fan follower base, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those kind of pieces. You can put out updates there. And again, you can alert them to come over to this page on your website. So use your website as a key communication tool. So that's what you need to do. Use your digital for communicating to the public and to your customers about what's going to be happening. That's a great way to do it. Email, website notice, website page, and social media were those three. And then as well, if you're in a situation, like Indiana where they're closing non-essential, or Pennsylvania where they're closing non-essential businesses, then you may need to have more of your team working from home, working remotely. Now, again, we've done that for a while, and I think that it's definitely working well for us. We have no issues with that piece. There's a few tools that I can recommend that we use that can help you in that process. And the first is for use with ongoing meetings. So maybe your salespeople would have went out and met with clients, that type of thing, or you have those kind of meetings. So now you can use a tool such as Zoom. There's WebEx, there's others. We use Zoom, and Zoom is an affordable tool and allows you to do video conferences, conference calls, and the key thing is that you can share screens in video conference calls, so both parties can see each other if they want to. You can turn the video on, off, that type of piece, but you can also have the video on and share your screen so that you can show information on that screen. So that's a great tool for using with clients, customers, sales meetings, even potentially support meetings, those types of pieces, and you can schedule those up, email a link out, and folks can participate on their computer. They can listen on a phone. They can download the app and also participate on their smartphone as well. So that's a key tool. Now internally, then. We use some other tools. So we use Google Hangouts for the chat service. There's other chat services like Slack. That's for like quick communication. So it's not an email where it has to go out, come back, check your email, that type of thing, but it's more immediate. It's a chat-based feature. You can share files in that. So in Google Hangouts, we can have little messages back and forth, threads going on with an individual, a couple people. So we can have those. That's how our team communicates. If we need to, then we can push a button, and that Google Hangout can turn into a video conference with that person, with multiple people in that one. So we use that internally to chat and stay in touch with each other. And then we're using project management tools that are online, so people have their work signed as something sold. It goes into a projects queue. That project's broken down into pieces. That's assigned to different people, so we can go into our project management tools. One that I use with the digital marketing team is called Asana, A-S-A-N-A. And they have a robust free version, but you can assign tasks in there, you can comment, you can keep people up to date, it can keep all the information on a certain project all together there in one piece. So that's a key tool as well. Now, thinking kind of big picture with if you're going to be remote for a while, what changes? Okay, so obviously there's the potential for some of your team members who aren't used to that to feel like they're left out, not getting the communication they need. They're not in touch with those kind of things. So I think that I put together a blog post on my own site, MikeGingerich.com, called the 3 T's of Leading a Remote Team Successfully. Right now, if you come over to my site, I've got my notification bar at the top, and that's where it goes to, so you can find that one quickly. But remote team members need time, okay? So I recommend that you have a regularly scheduled check-in time with them at least once a week, so that okay, we do ours on Mondays, and that's kind of like, okay, what's on your to-do list, where you're at with things, any hindrances, any problems that you need to overcome, any communication pieces that we need to touch base on to keep moving these projects forward. You know what you're focused on, we know what you're focused on. We've collaborated, and we do that via video conference, so we see each other in that regard. So leading a remote team well means that people need time to be checked in, time to feel like they're connected to it. Tools, I've already talked about the tools: Zoom, Google Hangouts, of course email. It's going to be helpful in that. We share documents with in the Google Suite, so Google Docs, Google Sheets for spreadsheets, those types of pieces there. We create reports, presentations for clients with Google Slides. So tools that you can collaborate on. And the third T is touch. Okay, so I think that in a remote environment, people can begin to feel like they are disconnected if they don't get enough communication, but also there is a sense of isolation if they're just not seeing people. So this type of thing where, now this is still one way, you're seeing me, I'm not seeing you, but that's why the Zoom, the video, Google Conference, video hangouts for those brief meetings are helpful because it's a touch point. So people need to know that. We also do a weekly team email update, and people contribute to that. So we outline, some things that were happening in the company. I do that, and then I invite others to share on a couple key things related to their work, their world, and things that they've interacted with in the team. Shout outs to the team. So that kind of keeps communication, collaboration, encouragement going through the team through that. So touch, tools, and time are the three keys for successful remote communication. I want to recommend those to you. And again, so that's like internally when you're working with your remote team, and then there's the external, what you do to communicate to customers, clients. And again, not a lot of those change. You make sure that you're doing those touch points where there's communication going out. And again, coming back to what I started with, I'm recommending email. Your website is the key home base for that, and social media on your website. Recommendation is to have something on the home page, ideally something on every page, like that notification bar at the top, which can give it a message and can go to a dedicated page such as digitalhill.com/coronavirus, where you can have ongoing information that is relevant to businesses. So, like for ours, we're reassuring people, hey, we're open, things are happening, and we may not host an in-person event, an in-person meeting, but we can do that via video conference, and we're giving resources for that. I outlined there's a link on that page to the remote tools that I've talked about in here today, and you can go to my website there and get the podcast. So it's a audio video version of the 3 T's for successfully leading remote teams that I've talked about here. Again, that's accessible by the notification bar at the top of the page, but hopefully those are good resources to help you know what to do for your team's external communication about COVID-19 coronavirus updates that are changing things for your business and what you need to do to communicate about that to the public. And then also, if your team needs to do some more remote work, ways that you can do that successfully and keep things going. So that's what I wanted to cover today. Hopefully that is helpful. Again, those are the links. I'll try to add those links in the comment section after I post this video, so we'll get to that, but hopefully that's helpful information for you. So stay well and stay positive, and keep things going. These are think of it as opportunities to find new innovative ways to do what you're doing and do things better and to do things digitally. All right, this is Mike with Live with Mike, over and out. Take care.